What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today I'm going to do this series review of Interior Chinatown. Which makes you wonder, am I on a TV series right now? I mean, there's a camera pointed at me. Maybe I'm on a TV show. Interior Chinatown has kind of a broad ensemble, but it's basically it's led by Jimmy O Yang, um, who plays Willis Wu, who is a waiter at a Chinese food restaurant in Chinatown. Of course, not like at McDonald's in Chinatown, but I need it does say Interior, so I have to be specific. Um, and he kind of wants more from life, you know. He's got uh, his uh, his buddy Fatty, played by Ronnie Chen from The Daily Show, and some other. I mean, he's in some movies, but The Daily Show, um, and they just kind of hang out as waiters, and he has this desire for more in his life and to just be a waiter. He finds sort of like detectives and cops interesting. He has this backstory where his brother went missing like 12 years ago. His mom's trying to apply for a real estate license. His dad ran a karate studio, so Willis is like lightly. His brother was better at karate than he was, but he is aware of it and knows how to do it because of his dad running a karate studio. And throughout the course of the show, I'm gonna try not to spoil this. So there are crimes that happen. He first sort of encounters this one police officer, Lana, who sort of uses him to feed information to her. And he likes the feeling of that, of being sort of like an informant and helping. And Lana was also aware of Willis's brother, so it feels like they're slowly investigating that case on the side, as well as progressing Willis's season-long story arc. So, which will later entangle more with what happened to his brother. There are also two other sort of lead police officers who are always in charge of every single case, Green and Turner, who sort of burst onto the scene. And you get sort of a vibe, and you'll get it definitely within the first episode, so this isn't really like a heavy spoiler, that something is very much afoot here, and that all is not as it seems. Within the first episode, it very much feels like somebody's watching in a very Truman Show-esque way. But they're on a TV show. And when I didn't review the pilot here, but when I talked about it on my website, I mentioned the fact that it felt a little like Free Guy, where Ryan Reynolds was like an NPC that sort of came alive and then became like the focus of that movie. Well, essentially Willis feels like a background actor in like Law and Order, and for some reason we're following him instead of the cops. And the series does very much run with that concept, and with each episode there are obvious hints too, and it increases sort of as the series goes on, really obvious tropes in terms of what style of TV cop drama you might be watching at the time. It feels very branded. They sort of change the opening credits sequence every single time. And it's paying homage to several things that have come before it, heavily influenced. And it's funny how, as the series progresses, there are slight changes that are made to like the theme and format, but yet the plot still advances in the way that it needs to. But there are these almost like a little bit like what WandaVision did at the beginning, where she sort of moved through the decades, but instead of necessarily moving through decades, they're sort of moving through sort of stylistic choices for detective and cop dramas. So the pilot was directed by Taika Waititi, but not every episode is. Nor is he listed as the series creator, although it very much feels like it's something that he would do. Some of the episodes did feel a little bit long, but by the end of it, going from episode 1 to episode 10, the story that they told is it feels wholly original, especially where it goes in the series slash season finale. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Nowadays limited series means like virtually nothing because so many limited series have gone on to get multiple seasons. Like Shogun did really well, so they ordered 2 more seasons of Shogun. What is a limited series anymore? Um, it doesn't even really. It means nothing at the end of the day. Um, so yeah, I think when you look at it from the perspective of what it's trying to say and do, it's a nice sort of semi-serious satire. Like it knows it's very meta, and it knows absolutely what it's doing, but at the same time, it's not like a parody. It's not like watching Scary Movie or those awful Friedberg Seltzer movies. But there's that little bit of cheekiness, that little like wink, that that we're all in on something, and but Willis might be too. He just has to get to the same point that we're at. So it doesn't end with Willis getting in a boat and like sailing to the edge of the dome and being like, "What is this?" No, it doesn't end with that. But it does make some interesting choices, and I appreciate the effort. And it's interesting to see how we get from point A to point B, and I think people like the journey. But yeah, I would say the episodes that push into the 50 to 60-minute range felt long, because essentially the show is not serious enough. It's still mainly a comedy. Like, this thing leans to be more humorous than anything else. Like, it's clearly poking fun at certain things. So, if anything, this feels more like a comedy than The Bear does. So I would have tried to pare down the episodes to run certainly no longer than like an episode of, I don't know, those like quasi, like The Rookie, those like light-hearted cop dramas. But sometimes it just doesn't manage, because with a streaming show, it doesn't have to have the same runtime for every single episode. So some of the episodes actually are short enough. Actually, the finale is not very long. But yeah, it's just managing the time. I thought the performances were good. I don't know what's going to stand out or who's going to stand out, if anybody's going to get nominated for anything from this, because I don't know what kind of campaign Hulu's going to put this in. Are they going to put it in comedy? Are they going to put it in limited series? Limited series often has some really heavy hitters in it. So when you try to put a comedic leaning limited series into a comedy series into limited, oftentimes it gets lost because you're up against some really heavy stuff like Say Nothing, that just has a ton of weight in the story that Interior Chinatown does not, because it's not real. So the Ward's future, I don't know where this goes, but I would think writing would be an interesting choice, if nothing else, if they could get this like a writing nomination. But oftentimes it gets campaigned, and then we see like the same shows getting like 3 nominations. Like, ooh, 3 of the episodes from the same show were nominated. That's inventive. The problem with like the Emmys is they just don't watch enough shows, and they tend to nominate like the same things. So it's really hard to ever predict if they've watched a show or will watch a show. Because there's almost too much TV out there. So I don't know what's going to happen in May for this. But I liked it. I thought it was good. And the audio description does a really solid job of pointing out all the little quirks, the little things, the little wrinkles, the little stylistic choices that are very referential to the particular style of the episode, in reference to like what brand of cop drama we're sort of following. Um, so the little changes that make you feel like you're watching like an 80s cop drama versus, like an intense 90s cop drama or something like that. So you can get a little bit of a feel for what it is you're watching, and the audio description supports that and supports the choices and supports the idea that there are these, very specific lighting choices that happen, and maybe the idea that, there's a camera and somebody's looking straight into the camera, instead of them looking, in other shows, when a camera is just positioned at somebody's face and the face is staring at you, they're not necessarily breaking the fourth wall. But here, there's a suggestion that they might be, in some manner, making a connection with you, the audience. So, like somebody's trapped in your TV set, and really like the background character in the show that you like woke up, and suddenly now the show is all about them. So it's a very interesting premise, and I liked it. So at least through the course of 10 episodes, averaging it out and everything, I would just maybe trim back a couple of the longer episodes, but at the end of the day, I thought it was strong and the performances are good, and it was entertaining, and that's what it should be. And there's some really sort of like cool gags and little reveals at the end of the thing. There's a little corporation, HBWC, and when that was revealed, I laughed. That worked. When you find out what that is, you're like, oh my God, of course. I love it. I love that they came for it. I love that was what it was. So I was like, great, good for you. So yeah, I'm going to give Interior Chinatown an A-. So check it out. It's very inventive and creative and original against a sea of shows very similar to this that are just your usual procedural dramas. At least this one has a different way of telling the story, a very unique way of getting through a crime in a procedural way that feels like no one else has ever done it before. So, that's it. I'm done. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the other side.